All right, hello everyone, and welcome to CJ's ECAC playoff top 16 game versus Husson University. With me tonight is Sandwich. What's going on, Sandwich?
Yeah, always a pleasure to be in the booth for Post University, especially on a night like tonight. Like you mentioned, Denny, Psychic, or CJ looking to start their playoff journey on the path to a repeat here. Got to fight through Husson University esports first, a bit of a battle of the birds. We have our first set of right off the tip-off pre-game adjustments from both players in this timeout here. Shouldn't be anything, or rather this one is the big crazy one right at the start. You'll see both teams get all the lion's share of their primary adjustments, off ball, on ball for all their players right out of the gate. So for Psychic, we should probably see his signature Giannis at point guard as we start off here, but we'll see what both teams come up with.
And it looks like that is what we're seeing here as a quick drive.
Oh, no way.
Called for goaltending. Wow, that's unfortunate. So what happened? He pressed the button to go for a rebound, and it just gave him goaltend?
Yeah, it would have been a guaranteed rebound, but Psychic a little eager on the ball there. And we're starting off with Bobby Portis basketball here. Well, the mismatch seems to be working towards Psychic's advantage here.
5 to shoot. Going to put up a little jumper. That's off the mark. And James with the rebound.
Oh, nice lob out of James from Husson University. That's a shot Psychic has in his bag. We've seen him make it throughout the 3v3 season, but that post fade obviously a little bit more difficult on the Hall of Fame sliders. We see Psychic yet again. The mismatch this time for Bobby Portis,
and
not
one
for Giannis.
Almost got that layup to drop, but it's going to be 2 at the line.
Yeah, Bobby Portis with the smaller Darius Garland on him. Definitely a mismatch, but I don't know if James out of Husson University is going to quite throw the defensive house at him to try to prevent that mismatch from occurring. So Psychic going to be the beneficiary there. And
yep. Oh, jeez. He just bulldozed him over right there. No foul on either side. As Psychic coming off a good defensive stand there, forcing the contested 3. It was off the mark from James. Now Psychic with 5 to shoot. Got to put this one up. Ooh, and he drains it. Green release from the corner.
Yeah, love to see Psychic feeling good with the jump shot early. I mean, he's been using this Bucks team for multiple seasons now, so I'm sure he's got plenty of reps as he gets a steal here on the defensive end.
Picks off that ball. And it's going up strong with it. Gets that layup. And Psychic off to a really strong start here.
Yeah, looking good on offense and defense. We saw the green release and, of course, the pick right there. Husson looking to respond. Psychic's got that locked up.
Good discipline there, not falling for the pump fake and jumping early. Keeping his feet planted there and just keeping those hands up, playing really strong defense. Giannis from the corner. Money! Dang, 12-4 start for Psychic. Doesn't get much better than that. And James does not like what he sees and wants to make some adjustments there. What kind of adjustments do you think James is going to come out here with, Sandwich?
If I'm James, again, you've got to be aware. We saw it in the first couple of the possessions that Bobby Portis mismatched down low. Again, that's not going to be the straw that breaks the camel's back, but it's something you've got to consider here. But early on, Psychic looking good from outside. Saw 2 consecutive green releases. So if I'm James, you've got to watch out for that perimeter defense early on.
It's just so hard when you have a player like Giannis who can just get ahead of steam, run into the basket, and get a guaranteed dunk from anywhere in the paint. Oh, and also, by the way, he can hit a 3 in the corner. Like, it's
Yeah.
just like, what do? You know what I mean? But, yeah, we were talking to Psyche a little bit before the game, and he was telling us a little bit of a substitution strategy, but he's not actually doing it yet so far in this game. Maybe it's something he's going to bust out in game 2, Sandwich.
Yeah, we talked about it. Give certain key players that rest as James heads towards the rack there.
Defensive breakdown there. Not quite sure what happened, but the lane was wide open for that drive.
Yeah, and Psychic, there it is. Yeah, you see this the Giannis at point guard experiment.
Nice
the Psychic
shot.
likes to run
from that three-quarter spot.
Who needs Giannis at point guard when you are shooting lights out? Psychic has yet to miss from the three-point line. That's certainly something that's going to aid that Giannis attack. Hasn't even really needed to rely on Giannis's slashing attack rather early in this game because his defense and because of that three-point shooting.
Nice defense once again. And it looks
Transition
like
take.
Allen called for the fault. Wait, what? Oh, yeah, okay.
James
His fault.
not happy about that one. He was
Yeah.
looking to pick off the outlet pass, got a little too eager.
Okay. Okay, that's what
It's a
happened. I was
transition
a
take
little
foul, so I think
confused
it's
there. Who actually got called for the foul?
And the ball. Yeah.
But, yeah, really nice defense there. Oh, hello! Oh!
There's that Giannis slashing attack that we were alluding to, folks. Psychic waiting for the right time to bring it out. A dunk to extend his lead to double digits.
Get embarrassed. But,
sort of play you need with a minute left to play here. Psychic looking to make his presence felt.
I mean, obviously his offense has been lights out so far, but I've actually been really impressed with his defense as well. So, like, on that possession before, you saw that pick and roll, kind of the cut to the basket as he just drains another three. No big deal.
Missed this quarter, folks.
He sniffed it out, like, right away and just dropped Giannis. User Giannis and just dropped him down to kind of guard against that that dump off of the screen. And
yeah, as good as Psychic's offense has been here, I personally think his hallmark is that high-quality defense. So when he's scoring 21, make it 23 points in a quarter. You got to watch out if you're James here. Psychic on fire on both ends.
Yeah, this is just another level. Like, this is the best I've seen him shoot in a single quarter. This is incredible.
I mean,
he's on pace. He's on pace for a 100-point game at this rate, Sandwich, which is unheard of in 2K 5-minute quarters.
Yeah, Psychic wasting no time. Literally all green releases will give you that sort of offensive juice. And if I'm Husson University right now, you just got to find a way to stop the bleeding. I mean, they've been struggling on defense, but only 8 points in a quarter. You're not going to win a game of playoff ECAC basketball scoring like that. They've got to find something on offense here first.
Yeah, for sure.
That
looked good.
Right,
it was
Psychic, though.
Yeah, well, it looked good to me, but then I looked down in the corner, 85% contested, so maybe not.
Oh, and the slam on the fast break.
Wow, Psychic is leaving no doubt right here. Like, the other week, Psychic played against, I think it was someone from Russell Sage College or something, but he played against his opponent, and they didn't realize that they accidentally set the quarters to 6 minutes. And so the final score ended up being like in the mid-70s for both teams, and I'm just sitting here like, wow, it's a really high-scoring game. Wow, most of the teams must have been really good on offense. Like, oh no, they just had an extra 4 minutes to shoot.
An extra quarter, basically.
Yeah, basically, almost an extra quarter. They didn't realize it until like the third quarter, so they just let it go. Yeah, they just went with it. Because like at that point, you've already played, 18 minutes of 2K as Psychic finally misses a shot.
Yeah, the staring contest. Psychic finally blinks there. His first miss after a whole lot of green releases. Maybe signs of cooling down in the second quarter, although no shyness there.
Yeah, oh!
Oh, wait.
The charging? Oh, we got him for the charge. Wow. Good defense there from James. But we were talking in pregame a little bit about just like panicking, like players panicking a little bit when they get down. And I think James might be feeling a little bit of that right now. Already down 14 in just the start of the second quarter here. So if he doesn't get a handle on this Psychic offense and shut him down a couple possessions in a row, then this is not looking good. And it's especially problematic when you lose so big in a best-of series, especially best-of-3, because you have to come back strong in that game 2 to have a chance to bring it to game 3. And if you lose by double digits plus in the first game, it just makes it so hard for you mentally to come back into game 2. And that's when you see things like team switches or game plan switches, and people just trying to, well, that didn't work, so I'm going to try this. Oh, the alley-oop gets rejected. Or at least broken up. I didn't see if it was. Oh my! It's a it's a highlight reel at both ends of the court, and the lead has now ballooned to 18. That 3 ball once again no good, and James just looks totally outclassed right now, Psychic, or Sandwich rather.
Yeah, no wrong answers for Psychic on offense and
Oh
defense.
my
The step
God.
back three back to our regularly scheduled green release programming. Ladies and gentlemen, Psychic's up 32-11.
We are, yeah, Psychic's looking to maybe set a record here at this rate.
Yeah,
I don't even remember if I kept track of, nice 3-ball there by James, but I don't remember if I kept track of, you know, 2K records. I know the 2K records we have are most career wins and most highest point differential in a season, but I don't know if I have been keeping track of most points scored in a single game. But that could be an interesting.
Owen, we may have to start that record tracking.
This may be it right here. Honestly, he's playing lights out, which is crazy too for playoffs. Like, it just goes to show you, like, you know, how much of a gap there is between like the top half of, like the top, you know, third or top quarter of 2K players and the top half. Because James coming in here tonight as the 11th seed, Psychic as the 6th seed. You know, we were talking like Psychic only lost to some of the best players in the bracket during the regular season, so realistically should be, you know, probably the 3 or 4 seed as a nice floater lands there. But yeah, I mean, honestly, I think James kind of just got the short end of the stick here in terms of the round 1 matchup. Honestly, that was him, because Psychic once again also, we have to remember, the defending champion in the PlayStation bracket, and which is essentially the entire bracket, because all of the top seeds, all the top players in the bracket tonight are PlayStation players. I think Cumberland Will is the highest ranked Xbox player, and I'll have to check his seed, but I'm not sure if he's, I think he might be like the 8th or 9th seed, and he's the best Xbox player.
Cumberland Will's the 5th seed, but I know you mentioned Denny. It's a bit of a log jam, a whole lot of ties and tiebreakers.
Oh, here's the 5th seed? Okay, I stand corrected.
Yeah, Cumberland Will the 5th seed.
Oh, nice shot with 1 second to go on the shot clock. Those types of possessions are so demoralizing for you on the defensive end, because like you almost got the shot clock violation. You've held him for, you know, 21 seconds at that point, and then he just gonna green it from the corner.
Yeah, Psychic hitting all the right answers of the blowout bingo card. Hasn't missed too many shots, gotten highlights on both ends of the floor. Looking to generate some offense out of the mismatch there. I believe that's a 3 in the key. Yeah,
offensive 3-second violation. So it wasn't the shot clock. He did actually have some time to get a shot off still, but yeah, just in the paint too long there, Sandwich.
Yeah, and as the second quarter comes to an end, some rough offense for Husson. They're relying on that step back movement 3-point shot. That is not reliable offense, even though they've made a couple of them, but hasn't created much, as Psychic still up huge, 20-point advantage to them. And you saw in the little halftime snippet there, it's not Giannis in normal scoring either.
No,
Psychic leading the way with that hot shooting from Dame Lillard. I believe that was 19 points from him.
Yeah, and I mean, that's the thing, right? Like, that's Psychic's, you know, generally his plan A is, you know, let's see if I'm him tonight from 3, right? And then if no, okay, drive it inside with Giannis, but like, he doesn't need to go down any further in the flow chart tonight. It's, I am him tonight. I'm just going to throw some threes up. Oh, bad pass, though.
Throws it right to Jared Allen.
Yeah.
Husson off to the races.
Okay, and that's exactly what Husson is going to need to come back in this game. The lead has now been cut to 17, which does sound large, but I believe that it was as high as 24 in the second quarter. So Husson has come back a little bit here. Offensive rebound to Psychic. Is this the full bench mob, Sandwich?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, we got the Robin Lopez, Pat Connaughton. Oh, 3-pointer.
Yeah, he practices with the bench players. He grinds their shots as well. Like, he doesn't want to make it so, oh yeah, I'm just gonna give up this quarter because I have my bench players in. He's actually grinding in practice, in training mode, with those substitute players, trying to get their animations down, their timing down for those 3-ball releases.
That is so important because, like you mentioned, the platoon swap that Psychic likes to go to, bringing in the whole bench mob, often leaves you struggling for some offense. This unit has been pretty good defensively, but it's always struggled a bit on offense. So having the bench mob, their 3-point releases memorized, especially because there are some good shooters on this lineup. We saw him take a 3 with Malik Beasley, and of course a green release earlier. That's a sign that training is paying off here, Denny.
Yeah, for sure. And the other thing too is like, as a layup misses there from Psychic, when you're good with the bench players, it just opens up so many more options for you as a player, right? Like you can sub in one for Giannis if he just needs a couple minutes, or you can sub out, one of your players if they're not, your shot doesn't feel right with them. You know what I mean?
Oh, that has to be a misinput.
Must have been a misinput, yeah.
Shoots the ball from half court, an air ball. It doesn't hit anything but the out of bounds line there.
But yeah, what I was gonna say too is like, the lead will probably be cut at least a little bit during this quarter by James, but really his goal needs to be to tie things up in the third quarter right here, because a defender just falls down. That was weird. Because if he's not able to like get within, I would say within 5 points sandwich, then this game is essentially over, right? Because like Psyche's got his bench mob in right now. He's got a full 5 players on his bench who are starting now on the floor. So once Giannis and co gets back in the game, it's not going to be pretty.
Yeah, and I mean, you mentioned it. If the game doesn't get close, you may see signs of waving the white flag. We may already have one off of that Psychic air ball. He might have seen the entire Cavs bench mob approach the scorer's table to come in, as the Cavs also, Husson University also have an entire bench mob in Psychic, not slowing down.
Nice
with the bench unit, however, on the
and the lead is now ballooned back up to 20. Yeah, this is not looking good for James. He's only got a little over a minute and a half now to try to score probably about 10-15 points to put this one within reach.
Need a miracle on offense to get this to happen. That
good
moving
start.
three-pointer.
Yep, good start. Drains that 3, but James can't seem to get through that, kind of 15-point threshold, get the lead under 15. Every time he's about to, Psychic hits a shot like that. Beautiful hook shot there.
With Robin Lopez, we've seen it all season. Psychic struggled with that shot in the first half of the season. He seems to really be nailing it in the second half. Surely down to that training you mentioned, Denny. I'm pretty sure he's practicing a lot of those jumpers as he gets the defensive rebound. He's been putting a little bit of work on that Robin Lopez jump hook as well. He's been leaning on it when the bench unit's been in.
Yeah, he wasn't quite sure what team he was going to main when 2K24 came out, and he hovered around a bunch of different teams, but at the end of the day, he did kind of, nice slam there by James, good drive. But at the end of the day, he did kind of land on the Bucks, just because, like I was saying earlier, he's so familiar with the roster, and so deep with the roster as well, as we see a nice dunk there off the drive. But he's so familiar with the bench players as well, so, in this third quarter, he's maybe even extended the lead. I'm not sure, but he's at the very least he's definitely maintained his lead, which is all that you can really ask for your bench mob, right? They're there to give your starters some rest, let them sit for a few minutes, get that stamina back up. So
yeah, and like you mentioned, Denny, the bench mob doesn't have to go crazy, but this unit is a pretty impressive bench defense unit, and of course when you have a good defense, you get that fast break, you get out running, you force rough shots like that as Husson throws out another moving three-pointer, and you get into that fast break, you get to simplify the offense, so the bad offense doesn't really matter because the defense is so good. And I believe that's a 19-point lead as we head to the fourth quarter for Psychic here.
Yep, and also while I've got everyone here, I just want to make everyone aware that if Psychic is able to close things out here tonight, this is a best of 3, so he's got to close this game out and then win the next game against James. But if he is able to actually do that, then his next game is on the clock, scheduled right now for 10 o'clock tonight. So we're strapping in tonight for a long one if it comes down to it. He did say he's going to try to reschedule that second match once he figures out who his opponent is, because obviously we have to wait for the result of the other match on the other side of the bracket. Assuming he can close this one out. But, not thinking too far ahead here, We are, me and Sandwich are both here with you guys all night tonight for the long haul, seeing if Psychic can get back to that, back to that top 4, back to that semifinals, because that's where tonight's road will end, right? Because this is top 16, and then the next match is top 8, and then if he wins that one, we're in semifinals and are already playing for a trophy. So just like that, it's it's gonna be like tonight and then next week, and that's it, right? Like,
yeah, I mean, this week is, like you mentioned, Denny, the road to the promised land, and Psychic paving it in a whole lot of highlights. Another lob. Holy cow!
oh my. Yeah, he said, "Nah, I don't want to get the scoring record. I'd rather just get some nice highlight plays for the montage." The missed dunk, but offensive rebound for James, kicks it out, 3-ball, no good. Rebound to Psychic, and now with over a 20-point lead and 3.5 to play, this one I think is essentially over. Can't get the and one, but Giannis to the line. And this is the other thing that we kind of talked about too throughout the season is free throws are actually quite difficult in 2K, deceptively so, right? And like, most players go about 50-50, go about 50% from the lines, so which is obviously be terrible in real basketball, but like, it kind of shifts the meta a little bit. Like, if you realize your opponent is missing a lot of free throws, okay, maybe you start fouling a little bit more, right? So that's just something to kind of keep in mind as these games develop.
Yeah, we saw earlier in the season when Psychic switched back to the Bucks after the Damian Lillard trade kind of retooled that roster. He struggled with some of the free throw releases of the new additions. Notably, Dame Lillard's free throw release is, if I remember correctly, it's abnormally long. So Psychic was timing it like your average free throw release, and he had like a whole game where he was just missing Dame's release because it's so long and I wasn't used to it.
Ooh.
But like you mentioned, Denny, if either team isn't really used to the free throw releases, especially of their star players, like if Psychic perhaps is a little off with that Giannis free throw release, you mentioned it on Hall of Fame, the Hall of Fame sliders. Cross that with Giannis's rough free throw rating. It forces Psychic to basically be perfect if he wants to go 2 for 2 there. Psychic continuing to pile on the largest lead of the game, 25 points here. Certainly maybe look for Psychic to start throwing out some of those higher level plays.
There it is.
Going upstairs, okay. Literally
are you sure your name's not Psychic Sandwich? Because you called that one.
Psychic, again, continuing to pave the road to the trophy in highlights. Here's Husson. Oh my goodness. Out of bounds. Still
He's
Husson
like, get out of here.
Ball. My goodness, Husson University not feeling too good. Immediately chucking up another one, but Psychic's right there. That opened a little deceptive as the three-pointer's still off the mark.
So obviously the game is well in hand now at this point. So I think that was ugly.
Psychic tries another lob, not able to get 2 in a row.
But there's James.
A dunk contest. Right
yep,
now.
it's just an alley-oop contest right now, back and forth. But I was gonna say, like, obviously the game's well in hand now. Both players kind of just trying to have some fun. So you love to see it, but. I was gonna say, oh jeez, he just gets mauled. I was gonna say, like, as both players actually now, I think, got to start kind of thinking about game 2, right? Like, what's my game plan? Obviously, Psychic, riding high, huge lead, huge win here in game 1. So he doesn't really need to necessarily switch anything up. Now that being said, if James does decide to, that was cool. Little alley-oop. I've never seen that animation before. That was really cool. Yeah, little alley-oop tip. That was nifty. Pretty cool. Busting out the, dusting off the rarely used animations here in the 2K library. But, yeah, that was, both players got to start thinking about game 2. What's their game plan? What do I need to do if my opponent switches something up? Do I need to react a certain way, right? So,
yeah, I completely agree, Denny. We don't know if James out of Husson University has another team left in the tank. We've seen, Psychic win in game 1, and the opponent comes out with another team. I believe we've seen the Lakers, we've seen the Suns,
nice
we've seen the Celtics. So Husson has a secondary. I remember, I believe Psychic's played a match where he wins game 1 with the player's primary, and then he lost game 2 on the secondary, or he had a closer game on the secondary. So if Husson has, maybe an ace Suns
Nice
team
shot.
or a Celtics or Lakers team, it could be a closer game too. So Psychic,
Yeah.
although rolling to a victory here in game 1, he's not out of the woods quite yet.
There's a lot of good teams to pick from in 2K, right? Like you said, there's the Suns, the Bucks, the Lakers. Like, there's just so many good top-tier teams, even the Celtics now, right? So Psychic is pretty well-versed at playing against most of these teams. So if James does do a team swap, I don't think it'll make too much of a difference. But one thing I did want to mention as this game wraps up and Psychic will take the dub in game 1, Psychic's roommate, Fletcher, who's also playing in our 2K, or played in the 2K 1v1 season, he mains the Bucks, or he mains the Cavs, rather. So Psychic, very familiar with this matchup, probably has played against it, hundreds of times, just like him and Fletcher just in their room, or in the esports lab, just practicing, right? Like, so, very, very familiar with this matchup as we take a look at the stats. 62% from 3 sandwich. Those are defending champ numbers right there.
Yeah, ludicrous stats, everything in the 60%. And I mean, if you're looking at free throws, 67% is all right. But if you go to the 3-pointers, what was that? 6 for 7 from downtown. Absurd stats out of Psychic here in game 1. All of the offensive categories glowing in Psychic's favor. You got to be feeling pretty good as we go into game 2, as Husson is bringing out the Phoenix Suns, I believe, as we go into the BRB
okay, so
screen.
we are going to see a team swap here potentially from Husson, but yeah, we're just going to go take a look at the bracket here. So you see Psychic at the very bottom there. I know it's kind of small, but he is facing Husson at the very bottom matchup on that bracket there. Winner of this match right now will face the winner of Husky A, and battling Bishop Alex gets paid. So interesting about Alex from North Carolina Wesleyan. He's the 14th seed. He's actually the defending champion from 2 seasons ago. So very much a dark horse in this tournament as the 14th seed out of 16 players. That is not an accurate representation of that player's skill. I can tell you that right now. He should probably be top 5. If not top 3. Alex is very, very good at 2K and matches Psychic step for step, if not surpasses him in a lot of instances. So there were I believe Alex did have some forfeits that went his way during the season, which I think adjusted his seed a little bit negatively. But the 14th seed is really not representative of his skill level. So I'm really interested actually to see who takes that win, because also that player Husky A, that's actually the player that I streamed a couple weeks ago that CJ actually lost to. So yeah, it's gonna be really interesting to see who wins that.
Yeah, Psychic maybe feeling like he can let off the gas pedal at least for this round, but like you mentioned, Danny, a whole lot of killers in this bracket. Psychic cannot hold off for just a moment as we have the team swap coming in. Husson James switching to the Phoenix Suns. This is a dangerous team for Psychic. He can't just hone in on any one of the star shooters. He has to worry about 3 in Kevin Durant, Bradley Beal, and Devin Booker. If the shooting prowess from Husson ends up being on display, Psychic's gonna have an interesting puzzle box to figure out, how to guard 3 all-star level shooters. If Husson has the releases down for all 3, could spell trouble if Psychic is not prepared for it.
Yeah, that's something you got to pay attention to as well, right? On the defensive end, is who he is actually getting the green releases with, right? Like, if he seems to have KD down, but Devin Booker is a little bit shaky. Okay, maybe you guard KD a little bit closer, or whatever. That can affect your game plan, right? That can affect kind of the adjustments that you're making a little bit. So
I completely agree. Another thing to keep in mind when you have 3 players who are that next level shooting talent that the Phoenix Suns do have on the Husson side is that it's no longer, I mean, of course, you're still going to have that user skill, but you can't operate 3 players at once. So it's going to be up to Psychic to command those AI teammates. Again, that first time out of every single game, both players going under the hood, telling their team how to guard the other side. Psychic's going to have to be incredibly intentful with those sort of adjustments to keep his AI teammates on the same level as whoever he's using.
Yeah, definitely. Nice inside pass there to start things off here for James.
Oh, and I think so. Bull, you see on your screen there, ladies and gentlemen, he's the backup center for the Phoenix Suns traditionally, but a lot of teams like to user him out, bring him out because he is an absurd 7'4" and incredibly long arms, just a really large like vertical target. You saw an offense right there going right over the top. Psychic might not have been prepared for him to bring him into the starting lineup off the bench early, so perhaps a second timeout to kind of figure out how to corral what could be a dangerous player in NBA 2K.
We're seeing the early game chess match a little bit, the back and forth. Psychic finally happy with the adjustments, and we're going to get started now in earnest. Oh, just sheds the defender there. Was that KD? Oh, he just shrugged him off like he was nothing there.
Yeah, a lot of the Phoenix Suns defenders have a lot of length, but none of them have the strength that Giannis brings to the table. Psychic able to take advantage of it there in the one-on-one matchup.
All length, no strength. Let's see if it works out for him.
Psychic bringing the help early when the ball went down
step
to
back.
Bobo in the paint.
Okay.
He gets the stop out of it.
There's that first point of data, right? KD, step back jumper from mid-range, off the mark. All right, so that's just something that Psychic's going to need to keep in the back of his mind as he plays in defense. Big contest there, but offensive rebound. He puts it back with authority.
Giannis had a chance at a kick-out pass there, Denny, but Psychic chooses to go down with authority instead. That's a statement, 2 points right there.
Yes, definitely. Little spin move from Booker. He's going to put up a layup, but it's off the mark. Rebound to Brook Lopez, and Giannis going to bring it right back down the court.
And you see the Psychic Giannis at point guard experience here is going to force Husson University into scramble mode immediately right here. Going to create the rotation game. Psychic got to be able to capitalize off of this, although only 2 seconds on the clock.
Wow. I'm just like, what do you even do? Husson played good defense there, and he's just going to dribble into quadruple coverage and put up a hook shot and train it. Like what do you even do? I think some possessions you're just gonna have to tip your cat a little bit and just say well played, because you know it's basketball. These players are all really good. You're not gonna, nobody's winning a shutout in 2K, right? Like, eventually they're gonna fall. But that just seemed a little silly, honestly, that he's just able to do that. The timing on the kick out pass, and that's gonna be a 2-pointer from the corner, but good recognition on the shot clock ticking down there from Psychic, and kicks it out just in time.
Yeah, Husson University, you mentioned it, and he's playing good defense right up to the final buzzer.
Yep.
They've been in scramble mode the whole time, but it's been just enough to throw Psychic's vision of where the open man is off here.
Good defense
there it is right there. He ends up throwing a pick.
Yep. Just getting that hand up. Three ball is good as well. KD doing it all himself.
Yeah, the defense early on, a problem that Psychic hasn't quite been able to solve. He's going to look to simplify it, just go one-on-one. It ends up paying dividends. That's a green release.
Yeah, Psychic will happily take this three-point shootout match if you give it to him.
Yeah, Psychic, he saw the scrambling defense that Husson University was throwing at him. He just said simplify it, one kick-out pass right into the immediate three-pointer.
Yep.
It's a green release. Got to be feeling good if you're Psychic there to quickly throw out an answer to this new defensive coverage that Husson University is throwing out.
Yeah, definitely.
So this time out, they're surely not, Husson University not too content that Psychic was able to break through their puzzle box in just about 2 possessions and able to double and some change the scoreline Husson University has as a result.
Yeah, there's always generally an accepted meta or the most effective tactics available for every game title, really. And whenever a team, specifically breaking the meta for whatever reason, you just kind of have to always look at it and just be like, can we just win? Like, can we just go take a fight and win right now? Like, it's essentially what Psychic just did on the last possession. He was like, all right, your defense is switching it up a little bit. So I'm just going to keep it simple. Drive in, kick out, 3-ball. You know, it doesn't need to be complicated.
I completely agree. And
ooh, what was that?
Another
Goaltending?
goaltending violation.
Goaltending? Ooh, I don't know about that one, Sandwich.
Yeah,
I know these
like...
are all robots, but I disagree with that call.
Man, even the robot referees don't have it easy here, Denny. As yeah, I agree. That looked like just a standard contest, but a little too close to the sun there for Psychic, and it's a goaltending. And more simple one kick-out passes into a 3-point
James
release.
has to find an
offense.
answer for that, or this game is going to get out of hand really quickly for him.
Yeah, Psychic said, forget the whole drive and kick game. Just one slow post into a kick-out pass. And Husson University there just doing it, bringing out your do-it-yourself kit with the green release on Devin Booker there.
Yeah, another point of data for Psychic on defense, right? Devin Booker 3-ball. Good. As a rare miss from Psychic off of that. And now James with the ball and a chance to cut the lead to single digits and, a single possession rather.
Oh, amazing switch. Again, that user defense from Psychic, that backline user defense from Psychic, so impressive.
Wow.
And there
it's the shot anyways,
is that
though.
height mismatch we talked about early, Denny. That's Bobo, so tall, the tallest player on the floor right now for both teams, able to just rise up above the smaller defender Psychic has out there. And again, simple kick-out pass. This time it's off the mark.
Maybe this is James' plan. Maybe it's just, cross your fingers and hope he misses. Maybe that's all it is.
It's a dangerous game, but it's gotten him to a one-possession
Oh,
score.
he read that like a book. He saw the cut to basket and gets one of his own on the fast break on the other end. Beautiful work.
Had a chance to take the last shot of the quarter, said we got to take the simple points where we can find them. Quick slam here. Now Husson University going to get the chance for the last shot in the quarter. And you see Psychic stepping up, doesn't want to let him shoot that. Still gets it off, but it is a tough shot, and that's the end of the quarter.
Defense. So much better this time from James. Only down 4. I believe he was down like 15 or something at the end of the first quarter in game 1. So already a massive improvement for James. He's got to be feeling really good about this game.
Yeah, an improvement in the score line and an improvement in the raw numbers as well. I believe he scored 8 points in the first quarter. This time it's 12. Only a 4-point swing. But as you mentioned, Denny, the defense leveling up as well, and so it's a much closer contest than game 2. Yet again, that swinging defense, just one kick-out pass. Bring it to your best shooter. Still just off the mark for Psychic, though.
He'll take those looks, but if they continue to be bricks like that, he might have to switch something up here.
See the 2-man game for Husson University. Not able to get much movement, so they got to go right at the Psychic defense. They'll get free throws though, and Devin Booker virtually automatic free throw shooters. The first one's green. Second one, yeah, also, I mean, not green, but ends up going in because Devin Booker, we mentioned the free throw releases earlier. Devin Booker's in the 90s, if I remember correctly. And an early foul. Honestly, not going to give up the ball in those post possessions too often. So not the wisest foul, but Husson University just resets the clock. Nothing too crazy here.
I want to see if Psychic's able to actually score a little bit more in the paint here. He decides to kick it out again. Gets the offensive rebound, kicks it out one more time. Do not give him a second chance, ladies and gentlemen. Do not do it. It drains at that time.
That one. That was huge. You don't want to get too many consecutive misses. Even if you're not blatantly cold, you can throw off subtly or make and miss chance in every possession. That's an amazing shot. That moving three-pointer was killing Husson University in the last game. This time around, it's killing Psychic. That one goes in. It's a 2-point game. But again, one kick-out pass, simple offense, and there it is.
These threes are literally Psychic's entire offense at this point. James is just piling people into that paint area and not allowing Giannis to score anything down low. He's saying, if you're going to beat me, you got to hit your shots. That's what he's saying right now.
Yeah, if you're going to beat me, do it from outside. Only problem for Husson University, Psychic's doing just that. A couple of misses to start the second quarter, but Psychic right back on track with a pair of green releases with his star point guard. Damian Lillard's the guy. Psychic wants to shoot the ball every single time if he can help it. We saw a couple misses earlier in the quarter. Psychic was moving it to Chris Middleton, to Bobby Portis Jr. Those are not the shooters you want to finish a play. So Psychic, again, like we mentioned, Denny, simplify the offense, bring it to your best shooter on the court. It's paying off. He's got a 5-point lead here in the second.
Yeah, but a much lower lead than we saw at the same point in game one. I mean, game one he jumped out to, I think it was 22 to 8 or 24 to 10 or something at the end of the first quarter, and the lead never really shrunk from that point on for the rest of the game. It was pretty much stayed around there or higher for the entire rest of the game. But James already keeping much better pace with Psychic so far. A deep three ball this time. That one is off the mark.
Psychic able to get out to contest. I mean, Husson University commanding that 3-point respect. Got to force Psychic to get out to that 11% contested. That's nearly a pick, but now Psychic has Husson University in the rotation game. He's going to find the kick out. Oh, and this one's blocked.
Blocked by Durant there. 6 to shoot. Big rejection there for James. It's going to make this quite difficult. Oh, pass
that's
inside.
A tough pass. Able to find it. Yeah, there. Chris Middleton, probably the number 2 shooter. You want to finish the plays, and that's why right there.
That possession looked so good for James at the beginning on defense there, and then all of a sudden it was just he kicks it out to Damian and drains a 3. It's just, oh man, I would never be able to be a 2K player. That would just be so frustrating for me to be like playing such good defense for 23 seconds, and then on that last second they just get an open look and drain it, and it's like, well.
Yeah, I mean, it's happened to James so many times in this game alone. We saw in the first quarter a pair of consecutive last-second shots going Psychic's way. Another one now in the second quarter. So Husson University just a couple seconds away from a much better defense here, but instead Psychic a 6-point lead, and Husson that time yet again taking advantage of that Bobo length inside.
Yeah, height is such a big factor in 2K. As that shot wide open, but off the mark.
Contest from Husson just enough, I think. We're starting to catch a wind that Psychic is much more likely to kick the ball out rather than try to go up on 2 or 3 defenders.
Yep. But James doesn't score on that possession. Psychic with the ball once again. Nice driving. Getting double teamed again.
And this time Husson University just playing the defense straight up. Psychic unable to get the defense in scramble mode. Oh, there's the scramble mode. Psychic doesn't want Rick Lopez to take the shot. Gonna move it to Bobby Porter. So that yet again, that's not the sort of guy you want to take threes at a high volume. You see why right there.
This is a little bit concerning to me if these 3 balls, continue to stop dropping. Wow, an interesting layup there from James, but Psychic's got to find a way to get the ball in the paint here. He needs another way to score because, he certainly is the type of player who would be able to hit threes all game, but, you want your offense to be a little more multi-dimensional than that.
And Psychic's had some chances to go right at the rim. And he gets a bump animation there, and it's going to be Husson University ball.
Yep.
He's gotten the spin into the paint a couple times in this second quarter. He's usually opted to kick it out, but that time ends up being the victim of a bump animation, gets thrown out of bounds before he can even take the ball out.
Yeah, Psychic's got to find an answer for this extremely tall center that the Suns have in right now.
Yeah,
good
very
defense
tall
there.
Phoenix Suns lineup, and this is one way to simplify that offense. Get out on the fast break. What is Psychic cooking here? It's a corner 3-pointer.
That time, that one
good.
falls. Yeah, I mean, like, he shot 62% from beyond the arc in game 1, so as long as he can keep those numbers, like, there's not really much that James can do, honestly, because this seems to be like his one and only game plan with the Suns right now. If Psychic is able to actually figure out how to get the ball inside, then he may have to switch things up. But right now, I think it looks like he's just simply content to let Psychic do this, and Psychic content to take the points.
Yeah, right on cue. Husson University throwing a double team at Giannis up top because he's got that slashing takeover, so they're worried about that dunking and layup attack. Oh, speaking of an attack here, able to shut down the Devin Booker dunk. And now I believe, is that team takeover? No, Damian Lillard with takeover himself.
Bang.
He's going to use it to get right to the rack.
Malcolm in the chat. Yeah, maybe, Malcolm. Maybe. We don't want to call it too soon. Last second shot is off the mark, and it's a 12-point lead for Psychic at the half.
Yeah, Psychic feeling pretty good. Yet again, the star point guard leading the way for Psychic and the Bucks because of the defense Husson University is throwing out, just forcing Psychic to kick the ball out every single time. And Psychic had 2 players with takeover, Damian Lillard and Giannis Antetokounmpo, but it's the 3rd quarter, so you know what that means, folks. It is bench mob season.
Bench mob.
Quick 3-pointer. That one off the mark.
Shout out to all the bench players out there. It's not easy. It's not easy being 6th.
Psychic making it look easy with the bench mob so far, smothering that Devin Booker shot. And Husson University this time, at least so far, keeping the starters in. Although we might see Psychic shoot another air ball as you look on the right side. Oh, never mind. Going to be a green release. Forget what I was saying, folks.
He said, zip your lips, sandwich.
Psychic said, you're going to leave me open? I mean, I'll take it.
So hold my beer.
There's a foul to bring in the Husson University bench mob. That's why I thought Psychic was going to throw out another air ball.
Oh, I see.
Maybe force the Husson University bench mob in a little early, but a pair of fouls is going to do just that regardless. I don't believe Josh Okogie's an amazing free throw shooter. We see right there, slightly early, 60%.
So that is that's Baller Stepa. He's our top Madden player this season. Also plays a fair bit of 2K, I believe. He told me at one point.
He knows a thing or two when the game is done and dusted and a 15-point lead.
It's still early. It's still early. He's still got, still early in the 3rd here. Plenty of time for James to come back. And this defense has proven to be a little bit more of a challenge for Psychic to get through than James's defense on the Cavs. So,
yeah, well, if I'm Husson University right now, I'm amazed you don't have your starters in. I mean, sure, the 4th quarter stamina something at Psychic. A pump fake clears the defender. He jumps past him. James jumps past the 3-pointer. Psychic patiently.
Oh man, that pump fake gave him enough time to do his taxes before he shot that 3. That was just, oh my. He went flying into the 3rd row of the stands. Offensive rebound though for James. Another shot. And to shoot. Little spin move off the screen. But can't hit the layup. That play looks pretty good for James. But then he just can't get the, oh
my goodness. A lot of jumping out of Husson University in the 3rd here. Denny James is clearly worried about the shooting display Psychic is putting on here.
Yeah. That's the thing, right? Like if you put all your eggs in one basket with that type of defense, counting on your opponent to just miss the shots and then they just keep hitting them, it's like, well, what do I do now? Like you could play a little bit more of like a normal type defense, but that's going to then open the door for Giannis to just drive into the paint.
Yeah, it's so difficult. 5-minute quarters. It's the standard format, but still pretty short, 20 minutes. So
nice drive
Psychic gets hot like he does in the 2nd quarter. You have a half to kind of come back. You're either forced to be perfect on offense or just start chucking a ton of threes. And so Husson, James here in a bit of a rock and a hard place with the bench mob in.
Yeah, and again, James, same goal as game 1. He's got to get this game probably, I would say, within 5 by the end of the 3rd quarter to realistically have a shot. With Psychic just kind of throwing up a couple bricks there, and James going to get the ball back.
And Psychic probably not too worried about a lackluster offense, as the defense has been pretty good, although he dares Husson to shoot that one, and he ends up.
Now is James's bench mob in as well here? I can't tell.
Yeah, that is the entire Phoenix Suns bench in for James here. He had it, I believe, at least for since the 3-minute mark in the 3rd quarter. So Husson University has had the bench mob in for a decent while.
Oh,
last
wow!
Second shot, another one, Denny. Psychic, that's like his 5th or 6th second shot there. It goes in.
Bro, if we were playing the entire tournament tonight, Psychic would just get another chip. Like, he's playing lights out tonight. The problem is it's over multiple weeks, so you've got to you got to bring your A game tonight, then you got to bring it next week, and you got to bring it the week after that.
Yeah, Psychic, like you mentioned, Denny, Psychic certainly wishing it was all in one night because he's been lights out. Don't have the stats. Of course, we'll see them at the end of the game, but like the math in my head, not too many misses from downtown for Psychic here. Psychic on the fast break. Bit of a slow break with the bench mob in. Oh, and a lob, but no one is home.
That was cringe.
A rare low light for Psychic here.
That sucked. Nice little alley-oop, too. It was on the other day, and James says, hold my beer. This is how it's done.
Goodness, handing the ball right off to Husson University is Psychic on the unfortunate alley-oop there.
Yo, Malcolm, I know. That sucks. So Sandwich, we got 2 players qualified for Madden playoffs on our side, and in a 32-player bracket, they got matched up to play against each other round 1.
What?
Yeah. So it's got its pros and its cons, right? The goods and the bads. Pro is we are guaranteed to have a player in top 16. but the con is obviously one of them will be eliminated on Thursday night. So that is unfortunate, but it is also a little bit fortunate because we can kind of plan our whole night now. We know that we're going to have a second match at 10 o'clock on Thursday night, so that does help a little bit. As Psychic just jumping a little bit. Oh, gets stripped from behind. He's going to chuck it. What? No way! Hello?
What? Psychic doesn't need it, but he'll happily take it. Oh,
go buy a lottery ticket, my friend. That's gotta be like a 1% chance. Like he literally was just baseball through it from the other free throw line.
Psychic, I mean, we mentioned it. Psychic on fire, even from 4/5 court, ladies and gentlemen. Holy cow!
And Psychic putting up a 100-footer,
and
it's good. just another Tuesday for Psychic.
My goodness, just that kind of night for Psychic. You gotta feel for James on the Husson University side.
Yeah,
just having, your opponent's just having one of those nights.
He went full dude perfect on him there.
Yeah, literally from way downtown and on the cut. The starters back.
Nice play.
The highlights back on the table on the slam dunk.
Yeah, it's go time now. The A team's back in.
This game virtually over unless Husson University able to come up with a last-second streak of three-point shooting, but Psychic instead going to introduce us to a highlight on defense this time. Oh, Psychic bringing out the My Park moves.
Handles for days.
Fancy.
Little dribble chain there. We could actually make anything with it though. 5 seconds to shoot. Little floater.
Oh, that's a tough floater. Oh man, it's in.
Nice.
My goodness.
Yeah, he was actually trying to show Fletcher, our other 2K player, how to pull off those little floaters. They can be pretty deadly if you know they're coming and you can plan for that release. Durant with an off-balance shot, not going to go in. And you know what, Malcolm? I think you may be right. At this point, we may have to introduce the silverware. But yeah, this is looking increasingly out of hand for James. Every possession, he needs to score every single possession now to keep his hopes alive here in this ECAC 2K bracket in the fall season. But
that was a good shot there from James, but unfortunately, it's off the mark in a time where, like you mentioned it, Denny, he needs to be virtually perfect. Oh, and that tall, small pick and roll. Psychic dusting it off. A little preview of things to come. That play is so deadly.
Yeah.
For what you saw there, Psychic, his pick of the litter, a dunk with Giannis or a three-pointer with Dame. No wrong answer on that test, folks. Psychic gonna pick the three-pointer there.
What is your offensive game plan? All of the above.
Yeah, literally. Psychic on fire from downtown, and of course the slashing attack, so deadly. Husson University early on throwing that double, triple team at Giannis and whenever he touched the paint.
Oh, there's Why'd you try that, CJ? He was standing right there. There was absolutely no trickery. He was just standing right there with his hands up. I'm gonna throw it right at those hands.
No secrecy or subtlety there from Psychic. Just throw it in and hope, and Husson University all over that one. Psychic looking for more My Park moves. Not quite able to get the crossover, but able to get
And
the
one.
slam. Turned into an and one. Okay. My Park moves, no ankle breakers, but going to the free throw line regardless.
Speaking of My Park, we've got the NBA2k 3v3 team playing tomorrow night against Newman University in the ECAC top 16, or sorry, no, top 8, actually. It's only 8 teams made the cut into playoffs for 2k 3v3, so I'll be right back with Sandwich tomorrow night at 8 o'clock for that game. That's going to be Psychic, Hefe, and Fletcher.
And those
in that
games
matchup.
are always so amazing.
And this
to
one,
watch, so back and forth.
and this one is a little bit of a revenge tour, because this is the same Newman University team that went to Game 5, and then Hefe's internet cut out, and he was unable to connect to the lobby for Game 5.
I remember that game.
And then
they just had to give away the game.
Yeah, and then we used all of our timeouts. They said that they would be ready to go. Then at the last second, they were like, actually, we don't want to play. We're just going to take the forfeit, blah, blah, blah. So an unfortunate situation all around. Their communication definitely could have been better on both sides. Nice
There's
alley-oop
the
there.
lob from Psychic.
Yeah, Psychic's already told me, like, they've got a whole game plan lined up. Like, Hefe's been grinding. Fletcher's been grinding. And obviously, as you can see, Psychic's been grinding as well. So, yeah, they do not want to bow out at top 8 in the 2K 3v3. Which also, since this is now almost a 30-point lead, I can just talk about random stuff at this point. But basically, in other news, the ECAC has just announced that they will likely be eliminating the NBA 2K 3v3 competition starting in the spring 2024 season. And some people were like, oh, well, are you adding 5v5 and that's why you're taking 3v3 out? And they were like, no, we just think it's pay to win. So,
Interesting.
yeah, so I'm kind of arguing back against that because there are other games that the ECAC runs that have pay-to-win elements, such as Hearthstone. So it really doesn't make sense for me for them to cut that title, for them to cut 3v3 rather. So we'll see what happens. But you know, at the end of the day, if they decide not to have a competition, then we'll just run our own. And I'll just make an Excel spreadsheet and invite some teams, and we'll just go to town, right? Like,
Yeah,
so it's going to happen either way. The only question is if it's going to be, you know, ECAC or if it's going to be the post-university 3-versus-3 invitational or whatever I want to call it. But it is official now. Psychic is your does complete the 2-0 sweep. So as we're going to go, I hope he brings up the stats here. Maybe not. Yep, there it is. Yep, 52% from 3 this time. Took a lot more shots in this game for sure, but still really good numbers overall from Psychic. So hopefully he can keep that up in the next game. But we have another match for you guys tonight, potentially. We'll see if we can get a reschedule, but we'll let you guys know in the Avis Discord server for anyone who's still around in the chat. But Psychic could potentially be also playing at 10 p.m. tonight, so don't go anywhere. Sandwich, it was a pleasure. Any final thoughts?
I guess real quickly, you mentioned that second potential matchup. That match has already completed. Like you mentioned, Denny, you alluded to it. Killers all over this bracket, and the number 14 seed battling Bishop Alex gonna be Psychic's opponent in the round of 8.
Yep, I thought he might pull off the upset there, but Psychic did tell me though before this series that if he was able to close out the win tonight, he would rather play against Alex. He's played against him a lot of times before. He knows his game plan in and out. And also, Alex is not playing with his main team as the main. I forget who it is, but his one of the main players on his main team is injured. So
no way, he's forced to swap to his secondary.
Yeah, so he's playing with his secondary team. obviously didn't slow him down much against the number 3 seed, but yeah, I definitely called that one. Like
Yeah, you
that was
literally mentioned it.
that was an even matchup. Like the 3 seed versus that just forget about the seed numbers, because that was essentially like a number 3 seed versus a number 4 or 5 seed, essentially. Like that's how good he is, if not even higher. But yeah, thanks for chilling with us tonight, everyone. We may potentially be back at 10. Keep an eye on the Avis Discord and this Twitch channel. And yeah, that's gonna do it for now. See you later, everyone. All right, hello everyone, and welcome to the next match in our ECAC 2K playoff run. And we're gonna be both players gonna be doing their adjustments, their first quarter adjustments here. But with me again is Sandwich. We just saw Psychic dispatch his round 1 opponent from Husson University in a pretty one-sided 2-0. Spoiler alert, this one's going to be a lot closer, Sandwich.
Yeah, couldn't agree more, Denny. We were talking about it before we were live. Both players pretty familiar with one another, both former champions. Psychic obviously winning in the spring semester. Alex out of Battling Bishop winning that previous fall semester in the last 2K title. So, new game, but both players intimately familiar with high level competition. And both players have been scrimmaging each other, building a bit of a rapport over this semester. So both players probably a bit of mind games at play here, Denny, as they're both probably pretty familiar with what the other is going to be throwing out.
They are familiar, but it's also been a long time since they've played for, actual, when something is actually on the line, right? So last fall, Alex took the whole thing. He won it, but remember, this was back when it was PlayStation and Xbox brackets, so the player base was split. Then in the spring, CJ won it all, but he actually, Alex was not playing that semester. He took a semester off from college then, and so he was not eligible to compete that spring. Now, this fall season, this is now the first season since last fall that Psychic is going to be playing in the same bracket as Alex, and also this is the first cross-play bracket. So a lot of good stuff to look forward to in this matchup right now, as we're going to get underway in earnest now, finally, as Alex is going to get called for a
Instantaneous
reach-in foul
on the because of a point guard on center mismatch. Although it also seems like Alex may be leaving a bit of adjustments out of that timeout. Going to use this pause shield to get some of them in as we speak. My guess is to address Giannis at point guard, as you see Alex moving Anthony Davis onto them, at least for now. See Psychic starting off pretty simple, and that's another reach-in foul. I'm pretty sure that was by the CPU, so Alex is not spamming that steal button quite yet, if my eyes serve me correctly here. But still, 2 consecutive fouls. The bonus, even though it's a shortened period, bonus still technically on the table here. Oh, early 3-pointer?
Off the mark.
To be honest, no good.
Not a bad look, though. Alex was giving him a lot of room. Might as well take that shot. We know Giannis can drain this. LeBron driving. Good help. Good defense.
Oh,
and Alex doesn't even get a shot off on his first possession.
Yeah, the defense from Psychic already working well. As Psychic threw the ball right into, or Alex threw the ball right into Psychic in the painted area. And now
Psychic almost did the same thing again.
Both players struggling on offense early, trying to figure out the defensive coverage here. 2 seconds, the last second layup denied.
Good defensive rotation coming in there from Alex, rotating over with that player. I think it was Anthony Davis that was coming in for that block. And you just give LeBron an inch, he'll take a mile. He throws it down from the baseline.
Does so right there. And you saw Psychic jumping early. Certainly aware that Alex has the LeBron jumper memorized to a T. Speaking of jumpers, memorized to a T. Psychic hitting the green release there. Although it ends up, oh no, yeah, it is a three-pointer.
Yep, that's a good sign for CJ Psychic as he's now working down low on the defensive end.
Surely looking to stay hot after the lights out shooting he had in the previous set.
Offensive rebound, kicks it out.
Ooh, that's
no
a good
once
recovery.
again. And finally the rebound goes over to Psychic. 4v2 on the fast break. Psychic wisely going to slow things down. Pump fake, awkward pass. Handles it though. And now Giannis at the top of the key. Drive in, kick out. Another pass, 4 to shoot.
3 seconds. Psychic's got to move quickly. The pass gets a shot
Get
off.
it off in time.
Yeah,
oh,
tough
did he
shot.
get it off? Yeah, I guess he did get it off in time. It was really close though.
Oh, that's a really strong contest. Still says wide open, but the shot off the mark. And
Yeah.
Alex is going off the offensive rebound.
And that's something that, you know, you can kind of try to apply to your game a little bit when you get to this high level that both these players are, is throwing up that three ball. When you see you have someone underneath for the offensive rebound, as you just see it there on both ends, Psychic gets a second chance there, but that one does not fall.
Yeah, the shooting off the mark for Psychic since that green release, but
For
the
both
defense
players,
still
really.
able to keep this game close.
Yeah, both players really a little bit slow to get going on the offensive end, but you could also say conversely they're both playing great defense. So
Choose the optimistic route here as that
wow,
shot.
everyone going up for that ball. Somehow Psychic comes away with it.
Man, and Alex so patient on defense, not jumping on any of these recoveries.
That's going to be a shooting foul. And a good drive there. Had to make something happen with just 3 left on the shot clock. And these free throws going to be so important in this matchup.
Psychic continuing to make offensive magic late in the shot clock. You see they're getting to the free throw line and taking the lead
great
back.
pass up to Anthony Davis.
Big block, but it's a foul.
Yeah, the block was clean. The foul was called on Damian Lillard. So
there's those free throws, Denny. Literally mentioning it seconds ago, already coming into play.
This series may come down to the free throws, honestly. Both players, I think, very aware when there's mismatches, very aware when they need to foul. So there may be a lot of free throws taken in this game. Nice little play there. Cannot drain the shot, though. Like that off-ball screen.
Yeah, Psychics loved that off-ball flare screen. He set it up for Chris Middleton in the past, but as we mentioned, Dame Lillard's the kind of guy we want to be finishing that play for Psychic. Unfortunately, that time just off the mark.
Ooh, good shot there from Alex.